Awesome. So there's a few things want to just high level update you guys on, and then we can kind of move into the normal demos and questions and all of that. Excuse me if it's too loud in the cafe. We apologize on behalf of that. So I'm going to share my screen real quick here. Few things. So first things first, I just sent this link. I'll send it again, and this is not a chill. It's more of a, I think for the longest time, one thing that we've been top of mind for us is thinking about thinking about our why, right? Why as a community, why as a standard, why are we doing this? Why is this so important? And so I think when I was in Korea a week ago, I had this deep inspiration of like, hey, can we kind of like encapsulate like the movement that we're on? And that's something you'll start to hear us a lot talk a lot about. I think we're all on the same movement, and this movement is writing the second chapter of NFTs. And the second chapter of NFTs is about using your NFT on chain. It's about utility. It's about transactions, and it's about like NFTs have to have a better future beyond speculation. And so definitely encourage you guys to check it out. It's pinned on my Twitter. And yeah, I think it really describes the feeling that we've had, and we're incredibly and extremely lucky to have everyone a part of that journey. And next thing is NPC Day was a huge success. We had 300 people who signed up, and I think 70, 80 people showed up. We of course had to turn people away because the venue couldn't handle that many people. And this photo doesn't show it justice. I mean, this is a close-up photo of the panel, whom we had Jose from FWB, we had Benji from OP Labs, we have Elena from Autonomous Worlds or Lattice, we had Sam from Gnosis Guild. I mean, this is a pretty stacked panel that talked about Web3 and crypto and AI. I think this picture is a good one. We had Ruby do a great presentation, and that kind of gives you the. And most importantly, everything was recorded. So every talk, every panel, every demo was recorded. We're working in converting those to be a viewable format. So don't worry, you didn't miss out. And because it's such a huge success, we would like to explore the idea of expanding NPC Day. Of course, a lot of work goes into planning an event like this, so it might not be immediate, but we've gotten a lot of interest, from different cities like London, San Francisco, of course, in Asia. So I think like NPC Day is certainly, this is not the last one. It's the first one, and it was incredibly special. And I think the energy in the room, I think people were saying, is like a gathering of really creative and technological minds trying to build the future. And yeah, I think we had an incredible. I think the demos were mind blowing. You'll get to see one of them today from the station team. But when we have the recording, I think what Parallel team been doing with NPCs and Lens, they released a really cool demo of a NFT posting to Lens. Coop Records was super cool about on-chain playlist and music. I think Sweetman, this is definitely in your area. And then Sofamon released they did an announcement of version 2, and I think everyone their hearts melted seeing Sofamon. And so yeah, that was NPC Day yesterday, and we are in New York for a few more days. We have a bounty for ETH Global New York. It's going to be focused around actually NPCs. So if you are in New York and you are joining the hackathon, we highly encourage you to participate in that bounty, or let us know if you're around. We'd love to hang out with you. So and yeah, I think Mind and the station team will talk to you about this. They just announced this too. I wanted to highlight it. I mean, they're such an incredible team. They were a co-sponsor of NPC Day, and they've just been shipping nonstop. I like to always highlight, amazing teams. And if you ever, I know all you are building really cool stuff, but if you ever have something you want to highlight, we're happy to do so. So that's NPC Day. That's New York, all the happenings, and yeah, I think we're incredibly excited and energized by the success of NPC Day. So thank you everyone who helped in some way or fashion, even if it was remotely. And we'll hope to have more NPC Days coming down the line. So awesome. I'm going to pass the mic to Jaden to give an update. I think the biggest thing is V3. So I think everyone's just even yesterday like, when's V3? So Jaden, you want to give an update on that front?
Yeah, so we have not launched V3 yet. V3 is going to be coming out the pipe in the next week or two. I know, sad face from some folks. We'd originally planned to launch it at the event, but things got a little hectic getting that all set together. So contracts are up if you want to read through them. We would love any feedback on the account V3 contracts. I can share a link in the working group. I'll also share the link here for folks who want to take a look. You can take a look and see the account V3 contracts, and any feedback you guys have would be awesome. The big focus of these contracts is to make it easier if you're building crazy things, Tokenbound accounts, to use different kinds of execution models with the Tokenbound accounts. So things like, what if you have one NFT and you want to do 5 transactions in this single transaction? What if you have you 5 NFTs in your account and you want to do a transaction on each of those 5 NFTs? You can do that all within the course of one Ethereum transaction. And if you want to do nested NFT transactions, so you have an NFT that owns an NFT that owns an NFT that owns an NFT, you can just call directly into that 4th level Tokenbound account and execute from there and prove that you own the whole tree of them. And so a lot of these different execution models are the big focus of this, as well as some improvements to the way that we're handling some of the permissioning. So would love any feedback on these. We've got, we finished up the audit fixes. We're just waiting for the final report. And then we'll be rolling this out shortly after that. And so V3 is coming up. In the meantime, feel free to play around if you're doing hackathon things at Global this week. Feel free to play around with the V3 contracts. And we will have some more details in the coming days about the full rollout of that. We'll also have a migration guide if you are building on top of our ERC-65001 contracts and how to take the applications you're building and use the new V3 contracts with the NFT project. So nothing crazy to announce right now, but if you do want to take a look, that is the branch that we're working off of. You can take a look and see all of the changes coming in there. These changes that will then be reflected throughout the SDK and the Tokenbound site, things that you can do with that. Cross-chain being another big one that's coming down the pipe with that. So happy to chat if anyone is curious about that. But yeah, a lot of the stuff we've been working towards was for NPC Day. So we did some pretty cool demos. Some folks built some really great things on top of 6551 for the demos. And it was exciting to see that event there. Things are coming up in the next little bits. I'm not sure who else we have from the future primitive here. I think we might have BJ. BJ, do you want to chat a little bit about some of the things coming down the pipe with the SDK?
Yeah, sure. I am still kind of working through some items on the testing front. I had a little bit of a breakthrough this morning, which is great, and has allowed me to jump into testing some different functions and away from the overall framework related implementation stuff. So that has been really good. And let me just pull up my list of things that we're looking at. In terms of the functions that have already been built and that just need to be tested robustly, we need to work through ERC20 transfers and ETH transfers, but those are looking pretty good at the moment. Excuse me. The next thing up, I think, will be the new implementation. Generally speaking, as much as possible with respect to working through integrating new implementation features. On the radar is definitely Wallet Connect, so that people who are working with the SDK can implement Wallet Connect implementations themselves. We've been doing a bunch of work on our end to implement Wallet Connect and get it working. It's been a bit finicky, so this is the kind of work that I'm sure not everyone is going to want to do, and anything we can do to make that a lot easier for other users, we would love to do. And yeah, those are kind of the main things. I think there are some other items that we're keeping close to our chest for the time being, and we'll be excited to show them off a little bit later down the line.
Awesome. Thanks for that there, BJ. Another thing that we launched this week is there's a new tokenbound.org website. Oh yeah, Elena, do you want to do a demo of the new Tokenbound.org site and show off some of the design work there?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, super excited about this update. We've been working on this for a while and wanting to make it extra nice and smooth for people and add a little bit more context about what's going on, a bit more value props that are more aligned to the direction that we're heading now. So yeah, so when you land on the homepage, you'll notice that there's now a search bar in the nav, which really helps for just getting to where you need to go, searching for NFTs. And we've also updated a new section for community links to just go straight to where the people are that are building and then to go and learn through the docs, CIP, and the GitHub. So we have a nice hero animation now that walks you through the 3 different aspects of Tokenbound accounts, which are addresses, holding collectibles and assets, and then connecting on chain. So next we have, what you really unlock with using these Tokenbound accounts. So again, owning other assets, making on-chain history, living cross-chain, and connecting as your NFT. If you click Get Started here, there's also some sweet onboarding modals. Again, walking you through these because we want to make it abundantly clear what you can do, because the education and the onboarding for this was a bit rough for people to understand. So now we've done a lot to help that. We also have this section where you can search for collections and download the CSVs of the collection addresses so that you can take action as a project stakeholder and do what you want with the addresses. And you can also learn more about what you can do there. We have some fun stats. You can join the weekly dev call, some more resources for builders, and then some social proof here with community showcase and some important in the media things that have happened. So this is especially interesting and nice because now we can see all the amazing projects that are building with 6551. And if you are building and don't see yourself here, definitely push a PR or let us know and we'll add you to this as well. So yeah, those are the main updates with the new site here.
Awesome. Excellent. Yeah, it's looking really good. And the goal with all of this is to try and make it easier for newcomers who are trying to understand ERC 6551 and getting a sense of how to use Tokenbound accounts to try and onboard them and teach them about this concept really easily. So that if you're building applications on top of ERC 6551, we can help do our part in introducing folks to the standard and what you can do with it, so that it's easier to onboard in your projects as well. And with the sense of this, with this new landing page, one of the things we'd love to do is showcase more community projects. So we've got some folks listed on there. We've got the showcase page set up. If you're not on there and you are building on 6551, let us know. We would love to have you there. And we would love to showcase the work that you're doing. Because I know, from the demos we've seen in these calls, you're building some really, really crazy things. So please let us know. We're happy to throw something on there. Questions from Ruslan on the website. That's awesome. Couple of questions. Is there a roadmap for YouTube tutorials? What happens if I send Tokenbound NFTs to one of the NFT already owns? 2 really good questions. Yes, we're going to be doing a ton of educational resources. Those are going to look like different things. YouTube videos could definitely be one of them. But we've got a bunch of things that are in the works for that. Again, the goal of this is to introduce people into what 6551 is, how it works, not just how you can build with it, but also from an NFT holder perspective, how can you use it? Because I think for some of the folks who are building projects on top of this, a big pain point is just introducing users to the concept of a Tokenbound account, the concept that an NFT can own other NFTs, and it can do things. And so we want to do all that we can to help not just onboard folks like yourself who are building really cool projects, but also help onboard your users and teach them how to use the things that you're building. So education is going to be a big part of this. Another question is, what happens if I send a Tokenbound NFT to one of the NFTs it already owns? So this introduces what's called an ownership cycle. And we talk about it a little bit in the EIP. Ultimately, it's up to the account implementation for how it wants to handle that. By default, if you create a cycle of NFTs where one NFT owns another NFT, which owns the original NFT, that means that nobody owns any of the NFTs because the NFTs each own each other, and there's no real owner in that case. Kind of like an Ouroboros style situation, the snake eating its own tail. And so by default, that's a burn mechanic. If you introduce a cycle into a series of Tokenbound accounts, each of those accounts is burned as well as the assets inside of it. And it's up to the implementation to handle this. Our implementation protects you from sending an NFT to an own address, but obviously doing protection against cycles of a length greater than 1 gets pretty expensive on chain. And so we don't provide any protection at that level. We are working on some SDK level tooling. So if you're in your applications, you can kind of detect when a user is going to introduce one of those cycles and then prompt them to see if they are actually interested in doing that burn mechanic. But there are some other things we're experimenting with too. We're experimenting with how can you, what are the other models for ownership cycles that you can explore with ERC 6551 implementations? Is there a way that you could let people rescue NFTs from an ownership cycle? How would that work? Is there a way that you could still execute against Tokenbound accounts that are involved in the ownership cycle? And so there's a couple of things that we're exploring there. We haven't really landed on how exactly we want to handle that beyond the default, which is a burn cycle right now. But yeah, to answer the question in a short period of time, if you introduce a cycle right now between NFTs, you'll have effectively burned the NFTs and the contents of the accounts. Any news on the cross-chain implementation solution? Can we check any code or any date for the implementation release? Good question. Yes, this is coming down the pipe. So V3 is going to have support for cross-chain execution. We actually just did a demo with Lens. I don't think Brad from Lens is on this call today, so I can do the demo for him. If I will pull up his user account. We did the first cross-chain transaction from a Tokenbound account as a part of the demo yesterday, where an NFT on mainnet, namely Brad's Crypto Venetian, hosted on Lens protocol, which lives on an L2. And so if I come up to here to Lens, /u/ crypto citizen 52. So this is a Tokenbound account which owns a Lens profile. The Tokenbound account itself, the NFT for that Tokenbound account lives on mainnet. It's a crypto citizen, which is a variant of the Art Blocks contract. It's an NFT that lives on mainnet Ethereum, but it was still able to post on Polygon using the cross-chain bridge stuff that we've been building. We've been working a lot with the Polygon team and the Layer 0 team to build out some cross-chain solutions. So here, the plumbing that makes this work is going to be coming to the V3 contracts. This is a one-off demo we did for Lens, but this post here was executed as a transaction on mainnet, which crossed the bridge, executed against the Tokenbound account on the Layer 2, and allowed you to post on Lens. And this is really what we're building towards. Like your NFT, no matter which chain it lives on, should be able to interact with protocols, with that, it's on any chain that it wants to, right? Your NFT should be able to live and interact across chains. So this is what we're building out. No news officially on things that you can build out just yet. If you're curious about how we pulled off the Lens demo, happy to chat to you about it. But ultimately, this is going to be baked into the V3 implementation. So when that comes out, we're going to be releasing a series of cross-chain integrations for the V3 contracts using different bridges and different things. One of the things that is built natively that doesn't require any additional execution or any additional bridge integrations is if you are building on OP stack chains and you are using mainnet NFTs, you'll be able to natively execute transaction against your Tokenbound account on Optimism or on Base or on Zora chain, any of the OP stack based chains. You'll be able to natively use the built-in Optimism bridge to execute transactions from your mainnet NFT Tokenbound account to your Layer 2 Tokenbound account. So any of the OP stack chains you're building on, that should be a huge unlock. For the rest of the chains, there are a little bit more involved bridge setups that we have to do. And so expect to hear some things on that side of it. But yeah, if you're curious, check out the V3 contracts, and there will be a lot of things, especially if you're building on the OP stack ecosystem, there'll be good support for that. And then for things further, other chains, other styles of doing cross-chain, if that's what exciting case.
Cool. A few other things that I wanted to update everybody on. I just talked to Manuel, but yeah, the C launch. I think you guys have seen this before, but we're incredibly lucky to have Manuel and the C launch team have this dashboard. And I think for us, this is part of the beauty. Is like just be able to, as an ecosystem, see our collective efforts in this movement, right? Seeing the growth of transactions and the accounts and which type of network. So this is still work in progress. There's still a lot of things that we're looking through, but I highly encourage everyone here, since this is open source and available to all, use this as a source of truth to kind of gauge like how things are going. And I certainly could say that we're extremely early to all of this. So shout out to the C launch team and Manuel and everybody for putting this together. And I know Fancy had to leave, but I do want to always every week remind you guys that we have teamed up with Radar, and I think I get a few questions sometimes. They're like, "Is Radar legit? Is this a scam, or is this like a weird website?" And I'm here to tell you it's legit, and we are a big supporter of this. Same with OP Games. You can read the brief here. The brief is focused on the NPC reality that we've been defining, and there are already several projects that have applied, and highly encourage folks to contribute or apply as well if you're working on something super cool. So I'll send the link in the chat for everyone to check out, yeah, I think that's really cool for everyone to take a look at. So I think we're ready to go into demos if there's not any other questions. I'm going to pass it to the station team. I think a few of them are here to kind of, if someone wants to raise their hand, we can put you up on stage. Cool. Okay, Michael, you
Sweet.
got the host.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to demo Loot 2. Just going to share my screen here. Cool. Yeah, so Loot 2 is a project that I've been working on at Station for a little bit, and it was just sort of a provocation of what might it look like to have like a 6551 Tokenbound account that's entirely on chain. So it's kind of following the original Loot project where you have an NFT that has like the traits of a character. But the cool thing about this is that each line of the traits is itself an NFT. So we have like a character NFT here, which is the base NFT that has a Tokenbound account. And then each of these traits is itself an NFT that lives within the Tokenbound account of this character NFT. And then dynamically on chain, this character NFT is rendering which of these trait NFTs are actually in the Tokenbound account. So I can kind of go through the flow here. We can mint a new character. And this is all on base, so things are pretty cheap and fast for us. But we minted a new character, and then currently this character's NFT is empty. It has no traits in it, so it says that it's empty. Before we can do anything on this character, we have to deploy the Tokenbound account for this particular character. So we'll go ahead and do that. Sweet, so we got the Tokenbound account deployed. And now we're able to mint new traits onto this character. So by minting a new trait here, we're minting a trait. This is like minting a new trait NFT directly into the TBA of this character NFT. So we see that we have it here. It's currently unequipped, and this is just a way to decide which of the traits you want to actually show up on the base NFT. You can either equip them or unequip them. So I have a waist armor here. It's called the War Belt. I'll go ahead and equip it. And then now it shows up right on my base NFT. So I can collect as many traits as I want. The cool thing that I like about this project, this version of Loot, as opposed to the original Loot, is that all of the traits are decomposable because of 6551 and because the Tokenbound account is owning it. So if we go to a character like character 3, you can see that they have all of these trait NFTs within the TBA of this character, and they can pick and choose and select which ones they want to apply to their character, kind of like a character selection screen or something where you're kind of customizing your character and choosing all of the attributes that you want to have. And you could trade these traits or pretty much unlimited possibilities for what you could do with the traits now that they're decomposable from the actual like base character NFT. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. All of the rendering is entirely on chain, which is something that I was trying to push forward a little bit. I didn't know if that'd be possible, but got that working. And yeah, I would love for everyone to check out Loot. The domain is Loot World, except the O's are zeros. It's on base and it's live now, so would be happy for anyone to go and check it out.
That's awesome. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, everyone should give it a go. I sent the link there. It's such an awesome experiment. It's so simple, but it really changed. It's like yesterday someone was talking to me, and it's like, I think it was Cameron from ARX or Halo Chips, and they're like, wow, like TBAs are so awesome. They kind of open the world of opportunities, and I was like, yeah, it's kind of like poetry, right? Like it's super simple, but it has significant meaning, and like this interpretation of it, in this example of like, oh, what if Loot was using a Tokenbound account? The composable future of this is just significant, right? So that's really awesome, Michael.
Thank you.
Congrats
Yeah,
on that. Yeah.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Cool. We're gonna open the floors for anyone else to do demos. So if you want to raise your hand, if you have something to show, and again, just want to make this a point that not a demo doesn't have to be a fully fledged built product, right? It could be a deck. It could be even simply talking about it. So we highly encourage people to demo the things that they're working on. I think as an ecosystem that these things really give us inspiration and give us ideas. And at the end of the day, I think they all level us all up to build really awesome experiences. So any other folks that want to do a demo? Jeff, cool. I'm going to give you co-host so you can share your screen.
Awesome. Thanks. I actually don't have the demo ready until next week, but I'd love to chat about it if that's okay. So, yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Jeff, and first and foremost, the NPC event, for those that who didn't go, was amazing. Presentation was great. People that went were mostly devs, which is a great early indication. And then the food was awesome, by the way. So that's always a plus. I'll begin by saying our founder Richard has introduced us a couple times. We're STP. We're basically building the layer for AW, and as head of product, we've been working on something called AWNS, which is the AW name service that's going to leverage 6551, which doubles up as a wallet. And the idea is use our AWNS as your universal identity for easy onboarding, for tracking and transacting across the AW ecosystem. We're working closely with a couple chains and game engines, and we're gonna start rolling out AWNS starting next week as I share the demo. Really excited to share that with the community here, and you'll be hearing from me more. So yeah, just keep an eye out for STP. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for coming to the event yesterday and coming here as well. Awesome. Santiago, do you want to, we'll give you co-host abilities here. Just give us a second. Okay, the floor is yours.
Hey guys. Firstly, let me say that I'm fascinated by DBAs, and I've been working in nested composability for a while. And it's such a simple idea and powerful. And I agree, it's a little bit like poetry in the sense that it's very simple and it allows us to express infinite amount of possibilities. So what I want to share with you, it's a way in which you may be able to interact with your NFT and be able to deposit stuff into it, view them. And I've done this myself, working with charge protocols. I've been pushing through this way. I think DBAs are awesome again, and we're trying to incorporate them onto our application, basically. So we're gonna go through it. It's brief. So thank you again for all your work, and let's go at it. Share screen. All right. So I'm gonna do a hard refresh to get off, and we're gonna go into Polygon where we got a couple of NFTs, and we're gonna go into 42, the meaning of life, and we're gonna choose 6551, and we're gonna go into energize. So the first thing we're gonna have to do, it like any other TVA app, is create an account. So we're gonna do so, and so there's that, and it's very similar to the already existing solution for TVAs. But currently, through this dApp, you'll be able to nest both ERC20s and NFTs, and that already exists and it's working. So we're gonna go into the pending transaction just to see what it's doing. And just seeing base at the last demo, seeing base, it is so much better. And never tried it before, but seeing how snappy and it is, I think we're gonna have to check that out for sure. So there, it went through, it created our TVA. So now we're ready to interact with it. So we're gonna go into an ERC20, and we're gonna be able to deposit into it like so. So the application is very intuitive, and basically there's nothing more than being able to deposit ERC20, deposit NFTs, and then being able to remove these assets. And you can go and check it out. It's already up in staging. So I'm gonna share this link with you. And we can see that we've deposited our asset already. So it's there, and if we want to release it, we can come here, and it'll be the same flow. And this is interacting with our account. You can see that our TVA is right here. The implementation address, the chain ID, the salt, and the init data, it's the same as in the original TVA management tool. And yeah, thank you for the space. And again, a big fan of 6551, and I'm glad you guys are building it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Santiago. Any other folks who want to do a demo and update on their projects or questions? Okay, sweet man. We're gonna give you the roll here in 1 second. All right, the floor is yours.
Feeling really excited this week. Love the Loot 2 demo. Love seeing more examples coming out. Benny, I already minted your video. Seeing 250 mints on ETH mainnet of a free NFT is actually really cool to me right now. So I don't know if I've already demoed 6551 Studio. This was a product we shipped last week, and we're making some updates. And I want to show just kind of how we integrated Zora with this. And so we already had a similar setup on creators to make it so that when you spin up a smart wallet, we automatically airdrop a NFT into it so that there's already something in it right off the bat. And we've just added that 6551 Studio. And so if I select a new NFT, we're doing a multi-call so that in the same transaction, you're going to mint an NFT on a Zora drop. So you've got the Zora fee for a free drop. This allows us both to airdrop something on a really robust protocol like Zora. It also allows us to bootstrap and get funds like on the creator fee, on the create referral fee, and on the mint referral fee, so that we can start this product already having some sort of funding mechanism. And so when you call this, it aggregates to 2 calls: 1, setting up the smart wallet, and then 2, airdropping a Zora NFT into that smart wallet. And where I think we're going to go with this is make that NFT an access pass to be able to use the tool. And so if you want to be able to manage your smart wallet inside of 6551 Studio, it has to have this Zora NFT inside of it. And we've deployed the same Zora NFT on any chain. So that's Base, that's Polygon, that's Optimism, and ETH mainnet. And as long as you have the NFT inside, you're free to use the app. And if not, we'll give you a little button where you just mint the Zora NFT directly into here. And so then it's the same behavior that we're already used to. You drag an NFT over, it opens up, it sends the NFT, and then it's just a drag and drop interface right now for managing. We had some feedback from the Zora team that it didn't support 1155. So last night we shipped an update so that you can now drag and drop 1155s as well as 721s. And it works both ways. You drag from your wallet into the smart wallet and it moves it over there. And then you do the same thing back. If I say, hey, I don't want this in here. I just bought this NFT off of OpenSea and now I want to take it out because I bought a smart wallet that had other things and I want to take advantage of the things that were inside of it. You just drag it the other way and then it leaves the smart wallet and goes back into your wallet. And so that's what we've got today. Is the big new thing is we're now airdropping a Zora token. And so we've combined 6551 Studio with the open protocol of Zora to be able to make it so that smart wallets, as soon as they get created, have something in it so that you can start playing around with the benefits of 6551 right out of the box. And where we're heading next, as soon as the multi-chain capabilities are ready with token-bound accounts, we're going to start to plug this into the broader Zora ecosystem to make it so that when you deploy an NFT on one chain, you can then use that smart wallet to deploy more drops on Zora on any chain. And so you can have a creator on ETH mainnet that is spinning up smart wallet, or not spinning up smart wallets, that's deploying drops and doing things on Optimism. And so we're seeing more and more creators, like Benny said, using their 721 as their identity. And so in the creators, we're seeing some people like Mr. Greenity develop entire YouTube channels being their PFP. And so what we're trying to enable is, instead of that creator having to create content from the owner's wallet, have the NFT itself just connect directly to Zora and do a drop on Optimism. The two questions I have for JW this week: we're still not setting up the smart wallets right. I'm passing in the wrong info to be able to do the initialize. I'm passing in a string from our JavaScript front end of the 0x and then whatever it is on Etherscan. And it's making it so that we still have to initialize the smart wallets. Is there any docs that show us what we should be passing in for that initialized data? And then the other question, you had mentioned native Optimism integrations. If we, in this case where we're using creators on ETH mainnet to interact with the Zora protocol to deploy drops on Zora on Optimism, are they going to be signing a transaction and paying gas on ETH mainnet to deploy that token on Optimism? Or can the token bound account just do like an off-chain signature that then gets submitted onto Optimism so that it's only paying Optimism gas? I'll send both of those questions here, but go ahead, JW.
Perfect. Yeah, those are both really good questions. The first one, DM me the issue with the initialized data. You can take a look at the source code of the SDK for how to properly initialize them from JavaScript. But I think we are just passing the signature of that up in the call to VM on our front end. So the SDK would be the best place to look for that and try and fix the bug there. On the cross-chain side, so yes, their native Optimism support in the V3 contracts is using Optimism's native bridge. What that means is all transactions from the Tokenbound account on Optimism or the OpenStack chain you're using require a transaction to be submitted on Ethereum mainnet because the transaction flows across the bridge and then onto the layer chain. Right now, with Tokenbound accounts, there is no native way to just execute only on Optimism or only on the non-native chain because the non-native chain has no concept of the NFT which owns the account. And so all transactions have to originate from the NFT's home chain. And that's true for signing too, right? For sending signatures, you unfortunately can't just sign on behalf of the NFT on Optimism. You need to submit a transaction. We do have some things coming down the pipeline we're working on to work towards this feature because the ideal user experience is just interacting with the layer 2 Tokenbound accounts. We do have some things that we're building towards that end, but they're not quite ready for prime time yet.
Awesome. Cool. I think the other thing actually I know Nielsen couldn't make it, but I wanted to highlight this too. Nielsen, who is part of the community, he's also from the Autonomous Worlds or Lattice, and he's working on this really, really cool, like, I guess, game or world where it has NPCs that can pickpocket and do all these really cool activities. So it's great to see use cases on gaming, on social, on DAOs, in experiments and all of that. And this is one example of that as well. raise of hands. Anyone else have technical questions or general questions? Any demos? Any other thoughts? Happy to open the floor up to anything that you all are working on. Nope. Okay. Well, hey, everyone, thank you so much for showing up for the 23rd weekly dev call. We're incredibly excited about everything that's being built, echoing what Sweetman had mentioned. And I think it's only going to get better. I think from our end, um, we've had several conversations with all types of NFT projects, including the blue chips, and even the ones that are just being launched. And I could say from that perspective, there's been a lot of excitement of people thinking about how to use Tokenbound accounts and how this can really power the next chapter, which is around utility and usability of the NFT. So again, thank you so much for showing up. I think we're good to wrap up for this week. So we'll see you next week, same time as usual. And cheers, everybody. Take care.